Hi, my name's Sarah Donoghue and welcome to Project Fitness TV. What I wanted to talk to you about today were a few of the misnomers surrounding diet and weight loss. And I think it's a very interesting and important topic. Now, one of the most important things is to not scale hop all the time, because if you're constantly weighing yourself on the scales, every day we could actually be something different. And that could be down to anything such as hormones as well. Women have hormone changes. We hold excess water. So whilst you might be losing fat, every single day a little bit more is coming off. You might be holding fluid and you will mistake that for extra weight you're carrying, when in fact it is just water. So don't scale hop too much. Now also, when you scale hop, a lot of people don't weigh themselves at the same time every day, and that is a huge issue. So if you're going to weigh yourself, the best time to do it is after you've been to the loo in the morning. So get on those scales and weigh yourself, and then if you want to do it every day, make sure you do it around the same time every day, and that's best to do it in the morning, because during the day, of course, you've eaten food, you've drank a lot, so all these count towards what is going to show on the scales, and it can really have a mental effect on someone when they see the scales heavier than the day previously, and it might just be down to some form of hormone imbalance or you holding water. So stay off the scales as much as you can. Now, one of the best ways to see exactly how many calories you are putting in your body every day, which will help with dieting, is to keep a food diary. Because really, do we actually know how many calories we are taking in? Some of you might say yes, but a lot of people indeed think they're taking less calories than they actually do. So you might think, oh, I only have 1,500, 1,600 calories a day. If you were to write that down, you could probably add another 500 or 600 on top of that. So a lot of people do miscalculate exactly what they have, because of course we all maybe pinch a crisp from a friend, or we snack whilst we're cooking, or whilst we're serving our kids food. So there's all these calories that you don't count, which are going in, and of course going in places like a Starbucks coffee shop or something like that. So just be very aware. So a food diary is very important. So keeping a simple daily diary of food is really useful, and you've got your columns which are headed your food type, and with that it's how much you've had of that, how many grams, and of course you've got your fat, your protein, your carbohydrate, and finally your calories. Now through this you can then calculate exactly how much you have every day. Now I know that sounds really tedious, and it is at first, and it can be time consuming, but take the diary everywhere and write everything down. Things are easily calculated because it's on the back of packets and tins. If it's not, you can always Google something. But quite often, people use something called MyFitnessPal, which can be easily downloaded. So it's just an app for a smartphone. So many people use MyFitnessPal. I don't. I prefer good old pen and paper. But a lot of people do think they eat a lot less than they actually do, and it's only when you see it in front of you over 1 or 2 weeks you know you really need to make changes. So it may be a good idea, it's just a quick tip. Now during weight loss you will naturally lose some muscle as well as the fat, especially if you aren't exercising. So it's very important to exercise, which does help speed up the weight loss and also helps you retain the muscle, which is very important for that nice feminine shape. And of course it helps keep us strong, fit and functional. And if you exercise, remember, your metabolic rate will speed up, so hence the fact you're going to drop weight quicker. And also, if you put a little bit of muscle on, then when your body is at rest, so when you're sleeping or you're just sitting down, your body is naturally burning more calories. However, Over-exercising can have the reverse effect and release the stress hormone cortisol, which will work against you. So you've got to have a very good balance. So you don't want to exercise too much at all. And remember, you've got to do absolutely everything in moderation. And the best thing you can do is resistance training. So that is lifting weights. And lifting weights, they don't have to be particularly heavy, but lifting weights per hour can burn more calories than being on a treadmill. So just be very aware of that. Now, the weight loss industry has made a vast fortune out of selling diet products and fat-free products. Now, these aren't necessarily better for you. When something has diet in front of it, or if a food has fat-free in front of it, there is a high chance that it is loaded with sugars so it can retain the taste. Now, these are industry buzzwords. Fat-free, diet this, diet that. But do remember, they're buzzwords to make women and men who want to lose buy it, because you think, great, it's fat-free, I'm going to lose weight. But that is not necessarily so. And that is so important that you know that, because it will have so many hidden sugars in there, and that is exactly what you don't want. The best thing you can have is a healthy diet. So it's not buying, let's say, pre-prepped meals that say fat-free or diet this. Just have a nice, well-balanced, healthy diet. And one thing to be aware of as well, if you're one of these people that meets your friend for a coffee in Starbucks or Costa Coffee like I do, always be aware of what you're actually having there, because even skinny lattes are still loaded with calories. So you do have to be aware. If you can manage to have black coffee instead, then that would be much better, or even a tea. I know their coffees are absolutely delicious, especially when they're filled with hazelnut and they've got cream on, but don't do it. Try not to have that, or just have 1 or 2 a week. Everything in moderation. So just do be aware that when you get a coffee, a latte in one of these places, it does have a lot of calories. Food dressings. Sometimes it's not what comes out of the kitchen which is the issue, it's the dressing served with it. And one of the worst is actually Caesar, and many people have Caesar salads that are on diets, but in fact a Big Mac has less calories than a traditional Caesar salad, as does Burger King's double cheeseburger. So a simple tablespoon of Caesar dressing is 80 to 100 calories, so just be aware of that. And you could have anything up to about 8 tablespoonfuls on your salad, and sometimes it's better to go for the burger because it's got less calories. Now, burning calories during exercise. How many of us have got on a treadmill for half an hour or an hour and we think, oh great, we've burnt 600 calories. We're all guilty of that. Don't believe everything that screen tells you, because the chances are you've only burnt half of that. These machines aren't accurate. Remember that every time one of us gets on there, even though it says you can input male, female, your height, your weight, your age, it still doesn't cater for you individually, and it does give you a higher reading. So when you step off that and you think, brilliant, I've just burned 600 calories, that means I can go out and have another slice of cake or a bag of chips or a couple more drinks. Remember that that probably isn't the case. So half that, and do be aware, don't go and overeat by 400, 500 or 600 calories because you think you can because of the treadmill. It doesn't work like that. Also, people will research doing an hour's swimmer. So I was a swimmer when I was younger, and I teach swimming now. And you can do an hour swimming and you will think, wow, in an hour, you search Google, I can burn 500 calories, this is amazing. Now that isn't strictly true either, because unless you're swimming front crawl constantly, very fast, for an hour, you're not going to burn those calories. And no one really swims non-stop, fast, for 1 hour. So again, just remember all these things. So if you go in a pool, usually the preferred stroke for a lot of people is a relaxation stroke, which is breaststroke. And swimming is a great exercise for you, especially if you're carrying extra weight or you have joint pains or injuries. So swimming is a great exercise. So do remember that when you are swimming, don't think, great, I'm burning X amount of 100 calories, because a lot of that time you may be resting or swimming slowly. So don't believe everything you read about how many calories you burn. So what sort of diet do we choose? Well, we're all so different. Male, female, tall, small, different genetic makeups, different ages, different weight, shapes, sizes. I come from a background of athletics and I have a very quick metabolic rate and I burn calories very fast. I have friends that don't burn calories fast and that can be an issue for them, but we're all so different. So what do we do? Now, the best thing to do is to do everything in moderation. So I would never say to you, cut out the things that you love, because the things that you love keep you sane. So I would never say that. So everything in moderation, which is important. And if you are a chocolate lover, swap that milk chocolate for dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is actually really good for you. The cacao. So swap it, get an 85% or a 95% cacao, and then that has got antioxidants in and nutrients, and it is good for you, and it may take a while for you to get into the taste of it, but just swap it, because again, you're removing a bit more sugar from your diet. And I don't mean have a whole bar, no. So you're just gonna have 1 or 2 pieces a day. But again, once you reach this age, you don't wanna get rid of all the things that you love, because when we get to our 40s, and our 50s, it's all about enjoyment of life. And we don't have the same needs or desires as someone in their 20s or someone in their early 30s. You know, we have different goals now that we're older. So we don't want to deprive ourselves of the things we love. But you do need to change and have a healthier option. So it's always good to have a healthier option. The healthier you are in life, the longer you will live and the more benefits that you will get. So you've got to treat your body well. So just look at being healthy. And don't follow these fad diets that you see on the front covers of magazines. They are so guilty of selling magazines of these new fad diets, you know, the buzzwords. And it's wrong. And these diets inevitably don't work. And as you take weight off, you'll put that weight on just as quick. So just be careful of these fad diets in the magazines. You're better off just being healthy. In future shows, I will be showing you some healthy meals that I eat, which are really tasty, but really healthy. And that is a key thing, that they are tasty, because we need that satisfaction of taste. Because the last thing we want to do is go on a restrictive diet that doesn't even taste good. So healthy options, but keeping it really, really flavoursome. Great, thanks very much for watching, and please follow me on Instagram @FastSarah.